Hey guys, Raven here. I just wanted to go ahead and put out my findings as far as weapon scaling goes, to finally get some numbers, because I finally got weapons that have S rank scaling, which was really the last thing that I was waiting on in order to put this out. So we're going to go ahead and use Lune as an example, because she is my one character that has weapons that are from D to S rank. So we have the Lunarum right here with a D rank scaling in C, and then we have some B and C, and then we do have her Scavram with S and A. So we can go ahead and do all of these and get a really good picture of how much each of the scaling ranks do. And I did test these numbers over several weapons, from D rank all the way to S rank, so I do know these numbers are good. I just want to do it live for you so that you can see where my head is at as far as the math goes. So we're going to go ahead and just quickly, for a baseline, we're going to equip the Lunarum. It's got a D scaling in Vitality and a C scaling in Luck. So what that means, if we go over here to our attributes, of course, I have discussed the might scaling in my previous video, but essentially what it comes down to is I did a lot more testing, and it's kind of hard to see for weapons that have low scaling, but as you can see, the base damage here of the weapon is 34. If we put 99 points in might, that would be 51. So we're going to take 51 minus the original 34, it's a 17, and then we're going to divide that into the base damage, and it's a 50% scaling. And that is 99 might gives you 50% scaling on your weapon. It's about 0.5% per level, and that's just static, as well as the attack power increase. So it goes from 911 all the way up to 1067. So 1067 minus 911 is 156. So that is the amount of base attack that you get scaled over 99 levels. So I just wanted to put that out there as a baseline, so you can think of a little bit more than 50% for weapon damage, so you can decide whether or not you put might scaling or these other weapon scaling as we reveal how much they each give you. So that is your baseline. That's what you're looking to beat. If your weapon scaling doesn't beat the 50% mark, it's better to just put the points into might. So all the way down at D scaling, we have our vitality for this weapon, but it does change for each weapon. So if we put 99 points of vitality, our weapon goes from 34 base damage to 37. Now that's only 3 points of difference. We're going to divide 3 into 34, and you get 8.82%. And like I said, I've tested that over several weapons, and that seems very consistent. 8.82% is the scaling that you'll get from a D rank weapon. So obviously much less than 50%. If you have a D rank scaling weapon, just put the points in might. The one benefit that you get for a scaler that is not in might is that you get other stats, but especially when it's vitality like this, not worth it. I would just put the points in might if you're looking for the damage. But again, I would always prioritize agility and critical rate in the early game. For a C scaler, so base damage of 34, it goes up to 40. So I'm going to take the 40 minus the original 34, it's 6. Divide that into the 34 base damage, and you get a scaling of 17.64 in this weapon. It is a little bit different when you use a higher base damage weapon, so let's just go ahead and switch that over to a different weapon here. What's a high rank weapon that I got that has C scaling? So CL has this weapon here with a C scaling in Luck. So I'll go ahead and quickly respec her. Okay, so the base weapon damage of this weapon is 937. So when we put it into our C scaler, we get 1106 minus that original 937 is 169, and then we'll divide that into the base damage, and it's around 18.3%. So right in the ballpark of 18% is what you're looking for as far as C scaling weapons go. So again, quite a bit lower than the 50% damage that you get from might, unless it's in a good stat like this weapon in luck. I would not prioritize any C rank scaling. As far as B rank goes, so we got the 937, it goes up to 1276. So we'll go ahead and take the 1276 minus the 937. It gives us 339. And then we'll divide that into the base damage of 937. That gets you up to 36.17, right around 36%. It was as low as 36.1 all the way up to 36.2 for the different weapons that I've tested with B rank scaling. 36% is still quite a bit below might, but 36% is at least in the ballpark where if it's on a useful stat like agility, I would consider maxing the stat for the other benefits. So I would say if you get a B rank scaling in agility or luck, maybe even defense if you're a little bit short on the crit rate, B is right around where I would consider putting points into it. But again, you'll still get more like raw weapon damage if you go with might for a B scaling. But that changes once we get up to A and S rank scaling. So let me quickly go ahead and switch over Lune's weapon. And we'll use the Scaverum. So this is a max rank weapon. It's going to have the highest base damage total, so it's going to give us the closest amount of percentage to the actual scaling, just because of rounding issues, because there's not decimals in this game as far as weapon damage values go. Okay, so for A rank scaling, got a weapon base damage of 4197. If we put 99 points in an A rank scaling, it goes up to 6851 minus the original 4197 is 2654, and then we'll go ahead and divide that into the base damage of 4197, and you get 63.24%. That is pretty well represented across other weapons that I have tested at A rank. So 64%, essentially 63 and some change, is higher damage than might. So as soon as you have a weapon scaling of A or higher, you are better off putting points into might. Never mind the fact that you get other stats besides just the raw damage. A rank scaling is where you get more damage from the weapon scaling than you would get from might. And then of course, just to show, S rank scaling, so 4197 is our base damage. If we put 99 points into that, it goes all the way up to 8367 minus the 4197 of our base damage gives us 4170. If we divide that into it, 99.36%, up to 99.37%, but basically almost doubling your damage when you have an S rank scaling. So there you're literally getting twice the damage. You're getting twice as much damage as you would get if you got might. And again, I don't care for vitality, but the damage increase is so high in this, it's always worth it to put 99 points into your S rank scaling over might, because it's just not going to be anywhere close to the damage that you're going to get. So for this weapon, for example, I would do these two stats. It's nice that it has agility as one of the stats that it scales with, because that's what we're going to need. And then I would put enough points into luck that we would get to 100% crit rate with Pictos support, and then any leftover you could put into might, and that would still increase your weapon's damage, just not as dramatically as it would for the other two. So hope that clears some things up. I will put all of the math up on the screen. I'll put an end card with the percent weapon scaling for each rank at the end of the video, and put a timestamp just so that it's easy reference for you guys. But just a quick little video. I'm sorry it took so long to get this one out. Like I said, I just wanted to wait until I had an S rank scaling, because I had some very shoddy numbers from other people online that had tested it, and I just wanted to make sure that it was for myself. But I am happy to have presented this to you guys, and I hope I will see you soon.